Hello, and welcome to the Cancer Journey podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sherry Ann.
So we're going to start with our PESH check-in. Sherry Ann, do you want to start us off?
Sure. So physically, I am a 8.1, emotionally 8.5, spirit 9, hope 9, and my word for this moment is ready. How about you? What's your PESH?
Yeah, physically I'm an 8. Emotionally I am a 6.25. Spiritually I'm a 7. And hope is an 8. And my word is very much release what we can't control right now. So a phrase instead.
Okay. We'll take it. Wherever you are is where you are.
Yep. So we want to talk about the difference between fundamentals and certification, which are both of our training or our coach training programs that we offer.
Yes. And part of it's because people have been asking, like they really want to know what the difference is. So let me just start. I'm just going to jump into what fundamentals is about. It is our smaller training program. It is 12 weeks long, and it is kind of exactly what the name says. It's kind of like the fundamentals, the foundational tools and skills. So we do give kind of the grounding of coaching skills in it. Not as deep as we do when we're in certification, as you can imagine, but we have a grounding of that. And then on top of that, we build on our SLAMS framework. So that is the areas of stop, locate, activate, make, and select. And each of those are technique models within the whole framework. So there's tools that fall into each one of those particular arenas. And in fundamentals, it's kind of this just wash and overview of just some of the key ones, not the whole toolkit, which is what you experience in certification. What do you want to add to that?
Yeah, so the SLAMS model, which, like you said, kind of encompasses both, you get a really meaty taste of it in fundamentals, but certification, you get the whole thing. And SLAMS is a really interesting framework because it's not only the energetic path that we're taking our clients on as a coach, but it is also the experience within the different programs because we start from stop and we go all the way to select. So you get a taste of it throughout both of the programs, and it is a really nice guide. Like Sherry Ann said, that throughout each of those different stages, you go through a lot of different models and a lot of different techniques within them, lots of tools. So it's more than just the framework, but that is the container that you're kind of held in. So fundamentals is really great for not just people who are uncertain if they want to dive into the full certification for the full 8 months, but it's also really great for people who come from a coaching background already, have previous coach training, and want to add those skills to their toolkit. And both of our programs are recognized by the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches, as well as the International Coaching Federation, which are both very big overseeing organizations that kind of watch coaches and the training that goes into them. And so we're approved for those continuing education credits for them, which is so beautiful. And it was something really important to Sherry Ann as she was starting this business to become accredited with them. I don't know if you want to say more on that, Sherry Ann.
I want to say that particularly for the International Coaching Federation, since we're not a licensed profession, and I'm not going to say what I think about it in the future, but it's not a licensed profession. And so we wanted something that said that we have been vetted and we're world class. And so the ICF classifies themselves as the gold standard for coaching across the world. And so we thought, okay, if we're going to get anybody who endorses and accredits us, that's the company, or that's the body that we're going to be associated with. And so it's with pride that we hold that standard, because it took a while for us to get accredited. I mean, they looked at all the pieces and the
Mhm.
parts. And so I feel really honored and confident that our program, it has been vetted. We've been doing this now for 12 years. And so they recognized us from the beginning, and we've grown. I mean, our curriculum, while it was great at the beginning, is really quite, if I can say, world class. It's true. I mean, obviously, I'm always going to say that about something that I created, but we are international, and this comes from individuals who are in the healthcare and training fields, but also just individuals who have on their own had different training programs. And all we hear is, this is a spectacular program.
Right.
Not just because we have the tools and the concepts and the skills that somebody needs to really play all out in the cancer arena with, very delicate, fragile cancer individuals at the time, or sometimes, but because it is robust.
Mhm.
And I could really say that our tools are tried and true. I mean, I still hold clients because I want to continue to know that not only that they work, but that I can build on them. So
Right. Right.
we build.
And I think that it's actually so hard to say that something you've built yourself is world class, because we tend to undervalue ourselves. This is just generally in a larger statement that, like, we tend to undervalue our capabilities and what we do. It's also with the recognition through every single coach who has gone through our programs that this stuff works. This stuff really works, and that um, they gain trust in us as they go through these programs. There's always a level of skepticism that comes in from the beginning, just because it's a new environment, it's new terrain, and we have a really unique way of teaching. We kind of, it's kind of in three parts. We show the content, we demonstrate it, and then we give all of our trainees and participants an opportunity to practice it, which is really essential. A lot of other programs will show you a video, you'll take your notes, and that'll be it. Maybe there's a quiz at the end. But for us, in both our fundamentals and certification programs, we teach the content as you normally would. Everyone takes their notes. We demonstrate it with a real life example. There is no faking. We do not do like play examples. We always take our coaches and we use them, the people who are in those programs. Sometimes we have assistants who have completed our program in the past, are coming back to help us with our programs, to really give you an example that's authentic and in the moment, um, and get immediate feedback on it. And the same thing with our practice that comes right after. We give our coaches an opportunity to really try and possibly fail, and then get immediate feedback and have a way to course correct. So that way they're not taking in information and doing whatever they want with it, or feeling like they don't actually have a handle on the concept because they weren't given an opportunity to try it. So we vet everyone, but in a way that makes them really feel like they get it. We don't leave anyone behind, and that's also why our small cohorts are so important to us for these programs.
Yes. Oh, so much to say around that. First off, I I really love the way that we have structured the learning process. It's very adult learning, and you have an experience of what it's like to actually have everything done to you. Like, what
Hmm.
that tool feels like. You know what it is to step into that concept and actually own it.
Hmm.
And so that creates this side effect, beautiful side effect, of personal growth,
Yeah.
because you're growing, and you're stretching into the opportunity to be more than where you were when you started.
Hmm.
And then there's also this container that we create, which is full of safety, um,
Hmm.
non-judgment, so that the individual, as they're learning, and every single week it's live with the instructors, with the participants, and everybody's, in the mix,
Hmm.
like getting their hands into it and learning and doing it. There is this level of safety that allows for vulnerability.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And that vulnerability is so special in what we do because we don't ask you to reveal all of the details. We don't tell you, tell us the whole story so we know every bit of it. It's really about what you're comfortable with opening up to, but being real about what emotions and what's here for you right now. But what really matters is how you
Yeah,
currently feel. And so we get to meet our trainees exactly where they are, and we really emphasize like asking for what you need in these programs, even as a participant, like if someone's really not feeling well, but they still, typically they still want to tune in and listen, we have a lot of grace for where they're showing up and how they're showing up. Um, the work is all real. Everyone does the work, and that's what's really important too, is that they're, putting effort into their own growth. But you're so supported by this like very very warm loving community that embraces you and supports you and is not in competition with you. I
right.
think that's a really big one because sometimes when you're working with this group of people, it's immediate to think like, oh, but we're all going to be fighting for the same clients. No, this is also why we're doing so much personal growth, is because you need to get in touch with who you are and what you offer and what's special about you as a coach and as a person before you go and share that with everyone else, with all of your clients, because sometimes a client you have isn't going to resonate with you personally, but maybe it will resonate with another coach. Um, so it's really important to like get a real clear hold on yourself and who you are.
Yes. Yes. I love that part. I actually love how our our curriculum adapts to the uniqueness of each of the individuals, which is core. So not only do we help our coaches go to the core of what the issues are with their clients, but they also know who they are at their core,
Yes.
because we have, this whole area in activate, so we know solidly who we are at our most powerful self. So our coaches get to come with that and come from there, and then they can help their clients do that too.
Hmm.
But what I really love is that the vulnerability no longer becomes this, something that we hide. It actually becomes a superpower. It's
Yes.
like, when I'm vulnerable and I own that, I can't be hurt or
Hmm.
insulted. It is almost like this force field, but it's not pushing things away. It's like letting them in and
Hmm.
really being with it. There's something else I wanted to add in here about, this is a wonderful way to be in life in general.
Hmm.
So while the personal growth for our coaches is kind of a side effect, but really, because you're going to go through everything themselves too, it is kind of an affect of being part of the training, and
Hmm.
then being so delighted with what they experience and wanting to give that to others, particularly someone in their during their cancer journey or beyond, when they're really questioning,
Hmm.
what was that about? How can I use this in my life? Instead of saying, oh, I just want to be rid of cancer, it's like taking the gold nuggets that are there, taking the learning and then integrating that into their life so that they can even be more um, delighted with their life. Like, cancer actually opens a door for them.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I'll say my own personal little anecdote is that when I first started working for the Cancer Journey Institute, um, I was just working operations, so I was very much on the business side of it, and was rather reluctant to take the actual training. So I agreed to start with fundamentals. We started there, and you just fall in love with the work, because from the business side, it can be, any business side can feel really cold, really transactional and practical. Um, but then you get to see the work that we do and the heart that's in it, and this just beautiful community that comes together of like-minded people who really want the same thing in this world, and you learn skills that support that and support your connections, but you learn skills that help you, and you start bringing them into your life. And then by the end of fundamentals, I was hungry for certification. I was like, I'm ready for certification. Let's go. Like, when do we start? And from there, you gain even more of a community because you're together for 8 months instead of just the 12, and you really get to know your people there, and you get to explore yourself with other people. And we say, when you're in training, we never secretly coach. We don't just secretly coach our friends or our family, but the skills and the tools that you learn start to impact your life. You start noticing it more and more, and you start being able to choose how you really want to show up in your daily life, knowing all of these tools. And you'll start to notice the impact on your connections and your relationships, and then even just the depth that you want out of those connections becomes really important. So it really has led me to be as clear with myself as I am today by taking that training and being able to share it with my own community.
Right. And what I'm really hearing you say is seen, heard, and gotten, which
Yes.
is key for us because we as humans need that's that connection, and being able to create a container for someone going through a very traumatic and challenging time. So building the trust is important, and that's where the vulnerability comes in, but also being that person who can almost like laser focus see what's the issue with your client. They're not there to please you, the coach. So you're going to be very different from
Hmm.
a family member, a friend, even the doctor, because there is this kind of, I want to be their favorite patient, or I want to be a good patient. Very neutral but loving. I love
Hmm.
that you said that container where they can just say whatever they need to say, process that, and the coach is really watching closely.
Hmm.
And you get some of that in the fundamentals. You get the tools, of course, and the concepts. But when you're in certification, so now we're doing the contrast, um, it is the depth of what you see, how you get there, and what you do when you're there. It's like
Hmm.
there is that. I know people go, "What do I do?" And we really walk them through each particular um, tool that kind of is a build. I mean,
Hmm.
in Locate, we have a series of maps that actually onlay on top of each other, and then we add in the other skills. So it's almost like Batman and Robin. You're equipped with this tool belt,
Hmm.
and then just based on the unique situation that your client's in, you just pull out the one that
Yes.
allows us to go deep to that core, to provide that healing, that awareness, um, that aha
Yeah.
to move
Yeah.
forward.
I absolutely agree with that comparison between like fundamentals and certification. Like, fundamentals really feels like certification light. Like, you do get a lot of the experience and a lot of the heart, and you do start to see yourself in a different way because people are mirroring back what you're offering as well. But with certification, because there's so much time to go through all of the materials, to find who you are, to figure out who you are, because there is that personal development, and it becomes so essential as you start to work with people who've gone through their cancer journeys, and it starts to reflect your experience. People can easily be triggered by that, and there are moments when that pops up. So even in this 8 months, it takes time to really notice when you are triggered or when you're not,
Hmm.
and um, to figure out how you want to choose to go about that, and what because that's also so important. Most of the people who come to be cancer journey coaches have um, experienced their own cancer journey. And so they want to use that experience to then help people whose lives have been touched by cancer. And so to do that, you can't negate the experience you just had. So we see people as whole, and that we're looking at their whole experience and how that individually supports them as a coach in their coaching practice, because no one's going to do it the same. No two people are
Right.
ever going to do it the same.
Right.
But everyone is transformed when they come out of it. It's like, I know that's a really big statement to say, but I have not seen a single person not come out changed and for the better.
Ag-
Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. And just, case in point, let's just talk about one of our trainees who's now a certified cancer journey coach. She came in and she was very passionate about what she wanted to do, and she wanted to be there to support individuals going through their journey, understanding that it was hugely challenging. And she came in with this small, timid voice,
Mm.
passionate as all get out, but this timidness to her. And as she went through the program, you could see and hear. That's why it's so fun to talk about this particular individual, because the amplification, like her voice got louder and you could feel her in her voice. And it's like she grew, but
Mhm.
she didn't get taller or bigger. She just grew in spirit and energy and owning of her power through the training experience.
Yeah.
And then because she could come from this not only passionate, because she brought that with her, this powerful place, she could speak to what she did. And when she was leading a workshop for this one organization, they were like, "Oh my God, this is so fabulous. We want you at all of our locations. Can you do that?" And of course, resonating, yes, I would love to. But the people that we get to impact because of who we become and the tools and the concepts that we provide is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. And love that transformation because her transformation was so palpable. And, it isn't always with everyone, but it really did um, shift her into this place of power and this place of, I want this. I'm going to go for it. And I personally fully believe that when we're living a life that's aligned with ourselves and we're pursuing passions that are really aligned with us, we attract the offers and the connections that we need to continue that path. So it's just so beautiful to watch her continue her journey. And it doesn't end just after certification and getting certified. We hold our coaches so closely. It's not a one and done, then we write you off and you go figure figure it out your own. We're here to support our coaches constantly. We have our association for our cancer coaches that provides them with ongoing tools and resources, further advanced trainings. So it's not something that is one and done. You get your certificate and you go off. We support you and we offer practice clients and just so many opportunities that still can come out of being a certified cancer journey coach. You don't get let go. We always keep you in the fold.
I like what we create.
Yeah.
Um, I want to say and almost end with this because I know our time is up, that the community that association also creates after the training. I mean, there's so much community in the process of the training by itself, but knowing that you still have a community to tap into of like-minded souls, right, moving in the same direction. But this is hard work.
Yes.
It is hard work, very emotion laden, and we teach emotional intelligence to a very deep degree, but also it's hard work.
Yeah.
So it has this mutual feeding of the coach who's doing the work and feeling like, okay, I'm doing meaningful um, work that matters. And then you get to immediately see that with your client and how it's almost like their heart and spirit just awakens because of the healing of that interwork that we're
Mhm.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the hardness of it is just the saying yes to trying. The hardness is just walking in with open arms and leaning forward and saying yes.
All right, I think that's a lot for today. Let's end with a takeaway and a word, Alicia.
All right. My takeaway is that these programs really provide so much more than just the tools and skills to be a successful cancer journey coach. They provide life skills that maybe were not taught like earlier in your life, you know? They're just so important ways for connecting yourself and connecting to others. And they help you really find your purpose.
Mm,
And it makes you feel so strong in who you are. Um, and it makes you feel like you're enough.
hmm
So my word is enough.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What's your takeaway, Sharianne?
That first off, I get to be my best self when I'm coaching, which is part of the reason why I love it so much. But it's also about the impact that I get to have based on something that I did not ask to come into my life. I mean, cancer was not like, oh, bring it on. It was like, surprise. And so I feel like I'm utilizing that experience to help others.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really delighted about the impact that I get to make with that. And so my word is impact.
Yeah. Oh, so beautiful. Like just the way that our coach programs really they really help people in a really holistic way. Um and you get really seen. You get this community. It's just like it's so juicy. I love it.
As we're overjoyed with emotion in this moment, it's so
Yes.
fun to talk about what we do.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us today.
We'll be back next week. We upload new podcasts every Friday.
All right. Have a
Thank
lovely rest of your day.
thank you.